Olinda Ferny Creek, particularly important first quarter, you feel, for them. Umpire holds the ball aloft. Jumping early in the ruck. Johnson went up for Wandin and won it down. First clearance to Olinda Ferny Creek, spinning almost like a top down towards half forward. Good mark taken just outside 50. Wheeling on to the left foot there is Seal, who's kicked 32 goals on the season. Bounces that down towards the pocket and it goes over and out. So throwing in a dangerous position. The skipper, Taylor, works his way to the front. Didn't handle that particularly cleanly. It's mopped up at the back by Black, who works it towards the half-back line. They take the mark. And ball into a stationary teammate. That wasn't best practice. It's over the top. Now in the pocket, right foot snap. Reaching back. No front-on contact. Play on's the call. Driving left foot kick up towards the half-back line, and it's going to come back again. So out of bounds on the full, they can now go to a dangerous position, pushing back. Coverage there from Possess to take the mark. Worked out towards our broadcast side. They take it in the back pocket. Options long. Good contest on the halfback flank, held in, and we'll have a bounce. Bit of a hold there. Free kick's going to come back to Lucas. So this will be 4 inside 50s in a row to start the game when they do load it up in there here by a Tonkin. And they get some reward for it. Ball hits the deck this time inside 50. Taken away, though, by Wandin, who wobble it up towards the wing position. Hodgett pushing up the ground, gets there, sweeps the hand pass forward. Now they've got a bit of space. Garner goes towards the top of the square. And guess who? The man that we spoke about, who had kicked 17 goals in 2 games between these two sides, will almost certainly kick the first in what would be his 112th of the season. On the approach, directly in front, steers it through. So they lead at 1 straight 6 to no score. And that certainly does hurt when you've controlled the first few minutes of the game. You've been doing all of the attacking. And the ball goes down the other end. And a goal immediately from the first attacking foray. Share it around, taken here by Greenall. To half forward on the bounce, driving kick towards the pocket. Didn't have the carry. Not a great bounce down there for Desta. And it tracks over for a throw-in. Ball tossed back in about 35 metres out. Taylor tries to guide the tap down. Wandin will hug the boundary line. That'll stay in the field of play, and Hodgett pushes up the ground and takes another mark. Definitely a hold one way or another there. Play on's the call. Garner was waved on it. Socketed to space there by Molino's. Immediately run down by Seymour. Mullet tracks after it. Curls it back on the left. Doesn't bend enough. He has the scoring in the game so far. 1 goal, 1 to him, 1 goal, 1 to his team. No score, Olinda Ferny Creek, 5 minutes first term. Match of the day for Healesville Greyhounds. That track not far at all as the crow flies from where we are at the moment. So the long driving kick in is effective. Seal takes the uncontested mark. Brings it into the middle of the ground. Pushing a long way up there is Desta. 32 goals on the season for Noah Desta. Good strong hands. Mark taken by the skipper here. Probably a fraction too far out, so chips up towards the edge of 50. Finds a teammate there in Hyatt. 5 players with 30 or more goals for the season in this Olinda Ferny Creek side. 2 in the Wandin side, but one of them's kicked 1,000. Seal has the mark. He's one of those previously mentioned 5. So in glorious sunshine. Tough kick though. They had their fair share of opportunities, but this is the first legitimate shot at goal. Normally a nice kick, not a great side for a left footer. Pushes that across the face and that opens their scoring with a behind. 117 to 1 point. 6.5 minutes first term. Good game of footy. Close to the boundary line. Just marked inside the field of play there by Samuel Hodgett this time. And a 50-metre penalty, or 25-metre penalty rather. It looked as if that was right on the edge, but obviously the whole ball has to be out. Chips it to his captain, Hurst. Plays on somewhat unnecessarily. Beckwith goes to centre-half forward. Atkins is there. Couldn't haul in the mark with the 1 mitt. Ball hits the deck. Trying to step through there was Zachary Seal. Instead, it's won back by Joyoski, who goes up to attacking 50, and they take the mark. So looking for a second start proceedings, just charging at the player on the mark, driving it towards goal and missing that out to the left-hand side. Greenall, rather Black. 128 to 1 behind. Brought back in from the kick in, but turned over. Jaworski was very good last time out when we saw them in action. Goes towards the danger spot at the top of the square. Bit of an unrealistic attempt there from Mullet. Umpire calling play on. Underneath the electronic scoreboard, which reads that they hold a 7-point advantage. They'll get a flying shot towards goal here and uncontested in the pocket. Is Atkins just waiting underneath the footy. Didn't follow him down as they moved over towards the ball on the far side. Left him on his own, and he should kick their second. Conceivable that this is the first of 2 meetings between these teams in this finals campaign. They could very much meet now and in a fortnight. Certainly a chance also for a repeat meeting between Olinda Ferny Creek and Warrialic, as is often the case. Squeezes that inside the left post. Gets his first. And a good start to Wandin, who lead it by 13 points, 2-14 to 1 behind. Ball back in the middle, jumping very early there was Leach Hines in the ruck. His team gets the clearance anyway. Down a half forward. Splitting the pack was Garner. Hand pass worked out towards Elderman. Excuse me. Back towards Black. Kick touched off the boot. So, well, they've paid the mark. Certainly sounded like there was a call of touch from the umpire further up the ground. And you could hear the touch through the effects mic as it slammed off the fingers. But in any case, went to Ferny Creek, work it out. Kennedy was involved, but it's one back by Wandin. In towards the pocket, Hodgett at full stretch, couldn't take the mark, then tackled to the ground immediately. Curry curls it around, spiked down well there by Giacotti. They've got a little bit of room here on the wing. They just need a goal to settle themselves into the contest. They played well enough. Taylor gets an arm chop free kick there. Not a stack in it, but gets the ball here at centre half forward. Work down towards the pocket. They trap it on the bounce. Hand pass over the top towards Seal. Gets onto that trusty left. Centering kick's pretty good. Finds a target. And it's Greer Smith-Rowe who has it basically directly in front. And these are the types of shots you have to kick against a side like this that aren't going to give you an enormous amount of chances. It's victories by 9 goals and 5 goals in the 2 meetings between these two teams. Very important kick for an early settler as we reach the halfway stage of the first quarter. And slams it into the timber. So 2 behinds plays 2-2, 12 minutes. Opening term, second semi-final, Premier Division, Outer East footy. Architectural cladding supplies. It is suspension and brakes. And all of our major game day sponsors, Game Face Vision and the local footy hub. Good pressure here from into Ferny Creek. They can go back inside 50 and on the turnover, they should get a free kick there. They will. Crunched into the deck. But again, not getting, that last one fairly gettable, but not getting extremely easy shots at goal. They are going to have to work for it, but they're in the game. Kick's not bad, and just missing again. Three behinds plays 2-2. So driven long back into play. One-on-one's down there. There was like a bit of a hold on the jumper there, potentially on Ford. High calls play on. It's back towards Dester. Good vision there to open up ground, go back towards Ford. Now Von Hess. The centering ball, Curry to centre half forward finds Greer Smith-Rowe. Now they'll go towards a one-on-one, working his way to the front. Good speed, hustling past his opponent. Takes a strong mark on the lead. And a good opportunity here at goal. Giacotti to give them their first. Potentially, they've had a lot of opportunities. Directly in front. It's the best look they've had at goal so far, and straight through the middle. And it gets them going. It's been a fairly even game, as we mentioned. You certainly feel when the ball goes into Wandin's forward line that they're going to be dangerous all day. So they're going to have to take their chances when they get those little looks. Yeah, that previous one that hit the post. And that one there, well executed, but they're going to have to kick fairly straight. That's going to be the secret for whoever feels they can take the premiership off this Wandin side this season, which is not going to be the easiest task. Free kick in the middle, advantage paid. Launching it straight out of the middle. Mullet must had hold of a jumper, somehow came up with the football, then kicked a goal. Great speed, great recovery. Almost picked the pocket of his opponent and slammed it onto the left. And on Mullet watch, that's 113. Going to do some quick maths. This is his 16th game. So he's averaging a tiny bit over 7 a match, which is fair to say elite. So we'll do it again in the middle. They need to respond straight away. Olinda, Ferny Creek, they shuffle that hand pass forward. Spun out of it there was Dester at half forward. So another stoppage between midfield and half forward. Dester jumped early, got a hand to it, but no significant purchase. Spinning out of there was Hyatt, who did pretty well. Feeds the hand pass towards the half forward line. Down there it's Wood. Dispossessed. Hand pass cut off, but Olinda Ferny Creek will maintain possession at least for a short time, and then they'll get nailed holding the ball. Terrific tackle. Launching it across here towards Samuel Hodgett. Touches it on the ground, goes with a long kick. Good work getting across there from Greenall to bring it to ground, but numbers still with Wandin. It's worked in toward Mutsars, bounces it towards his captain there in Hurst, who flicks the hand pass up to the big man Johnson. Goes looking for Molino in the middle. Into Ferny Creek, win it back. Jagging the kick forward. Good ball to Greenall, who takes it. Thought about going across with the left foot. Now just hits up a target inside 50. And that works out well for them. Lands in the hands of Von Hess. Sends it well right, and that one won't trouble the scorers at all. Out of bounds on the full. Worked up towards the half-back flank. So a few repeat stoppages on the far side of the ground. So we're about 80 metres around from the Olinda Ferny Creek goal here. Nearing time on first term. High floating kick into the middle of the ground. Lovely roving there from Hurst. Flicks the hand pass out. They'll drive it down the line towards centre half forward. Mullet just overrunning it a touch there as they drive it back down the ground here. Into Ferny Creek up to Taylor. Quickly gets it onto the boot, hooks it out towards the far side of the ground. Pretty well, some of the one-on-ones here. They work it forward towards Greer Smith Row. Drives it towards a dangerous position. Seal at the back, smallest man in the contest. Was able to bring it to ground, and the umpire says insufficient intent. So that's quickly going to be a free kick to Olinda Ferny Creek. And they move it on towards goal, floating it across the face. It stays in play, bounces on the chalk, and then rolls over. Comes out here towards Black. Hooks the high kick down towards Hodgett. Brings it to ground, but Olinda Ferny Creek getting the numbers at most of these. Tonkin. It's a hand pass out. They run into a brick wall, and it'll be held up. Again, inside 50, looking for the runner coming past, but certainly up against it there. Hyatt turns around, goes to a dangerous position, and they get another chance at goal from around about this 40-metre range. Desta this time will be the player to shoot for goal. On the approach for right behind the kick. Steps out to the right and the kick hangs out there. Drawing back a little bit off hands and one behind, just stretching a little bit there for the distance. Worked up very quickly to the wing position. One back, they'll drive it forward, getting into the front position there. Samuel Hodgett, they've probably taken 7 or 8 marks between them, the two of them. Knocked away. Woods couldn't control it. Worked in the middle of the ground, one-on-one, good strong mark taken. They'll work the hand pass here towards Black, who kept pushing up. Falling over Atkins there, certainly should have given a free kick away, but Tonkin took the mark anyway. Finds a teammate right in the centre circle. Rosier goes wider. Hillsville centre side of the ground, ships it to half forward. Hyatt, who's been dangerous. Now they go to the pocket again, and they're sort of around about that arc where they'll get another little look here. Sets that one up to the pocket, pushing back. Good mark taken by the skipper. But once more, it's going to take a good kick. 24 minutes opening term, 3-2-20. Plays 1-4-10. And drags that near side. So they've left a few on the table. Without having the inside 50 stats in front of us, it's probably something in the vicinity of 14-7. It'll be a double play their way. They've had 6 scoring shots to 5, but they look like trailing at quarter time at this point. The margin is 9. Worked up the middle of the ground. Not turned over as they jag it onto the boot. Now it is, but a little bit further out from goal. Curry. Can they get a mark here in the pack? Ball hits the deck, and that ends the opening term. An interesting one to analyse. Wandin looking more dangerous when they go forward, but Olinda Ferny Creek going forward more often and creating more chances, just not able to take them. And the result is a 9-point lead to Wandin, 3-2-20 to 1-5-11. Aaron Mullett kicking 2 of their 3 goals, with Brody Atkins the other, and Anthony Giacobi with a goal for Olinda Ferny Creek in the middle stages of that term. So tight first quarter that should probably be a little bit tighter still. Even one more goal the way of Olinda Ferny Creek would feel it would do a little bit more justice to the contest. So at the end of the first term, match of the day for Hillsville Greyhounds. And a reminder to check out the local footy hub and the Outer East Football Netball League shows Fridays at 5 o'clock on the League Facebook page. So we're not too far away here. In fact, the ball in the air to start the second quarter. Hillsville Greyhounds match of the day. Clearance won decisively there by Rosier. Goes towards half forward. Picking the pocket there was Fury. Tried to take the mark on the chest and he was able to get in there and pry it away. Hines works it forward. Hodgett with a left foot. Quick kick out of the air. Didn't go all that far. Still in possession though. Curling around. There's Molino. Down towards the top of the square. Bounces awkwardly for guess who? Who mishits a rare one. And trickles it through for a behind. 2-2 for Aaron Mullett. On the non-preferred, but didn't hit it at all well. Almost missed the foot. He has 2-2. Thumping the ball straight down our side of the ground. Good strong tackle. Play on was the call. Black gets involved by hand. They lob it down the line. Ball up here, half forward flank. Lost out towards the boundary and it will be thrown in again. So 2 minutes, nearly 2 minutes into the second term. One behind added to Wandin off the boot of Aaron Mullett. Johnson won the tap, punched it 15 metres forward. Free kick for a hold there as Olinda Ferny Creek launched it into the middle of the ground, and they'll receive that free kick. Find the target, Toma, and passed it to an unsuspecting teammate. And on the bounce, it did open the door very briefly for Wandin, but Olinda Ferny Creek good enough to trap it. Cuthbert goes down towards Desta, who was caught behind. Seal puts some good pressure on, forces the turnover. They'll work it to centre half forward, trying to take the mark in there, getting a free kick for his troubles. They've got it here. Probably 70 metres from goal, thumping it towards the square. Mister at the back trying to drag it down. Smith was there. A good tackle. They paid holding the ball and they paid advantage and they kicked the goal via Greenall. Correct decision. Taking the opportunity to flick it on from there. And in fact, they've missed. Greenall missing that from close range. So in the end, probably still the right decision to take the advantage, but obviously had to convert. Very gettable chance that was presented, and that's the type of bad miss that we're talking about. 1-6. Plays 3-3. Free kick here going the way of Atkins, who's the other goal kicker in this lineup. On the bounce, Molino, good trap. Pokes the kick across and finds Hodgett marks. Now his set shot kicking, we last saw him, wasn't superb, but he did nail a couple late when it mattered. And that, similar to what we were talking about from first, probably 2.5 quarters of that last game, where he wasn't hitting them all that well, but so So it's worked up towards the half-back flank. Got possession again here to Ferny Creek. They've got to start making some of this count, though. Playing a little bit of kick-to-kick down the far side wing. That one will be brought back into play. Wandin set this one up, flying high, unable to take the mark. Trapped at the back there by Black. And pass just going through. Charging player forward there in Jaworski. Tied up and have another bounce. Trying to burrow through. Immediately caught. Good again. So ball in the hands. Ferny Creek in the middle. Driving kick towards the leading target. Dropped a couple of metres short with the intercept. So played between the forward lines at the moment. Called to play on. Floats it into the middle. Caden Black tries to get there on the bounce. Trap it and it's over for another throw in. Seven minutes, second term, local footy hub scoreboard. Pokes the kick short, finds a teammate. Patient build-up. Taken there by Taylor. Beats a hand pass off. They'll loop it over the top, passing the scoreboard. Good vision to go with the centering kick. Could have loaded up for goal. Saw Von Hess, who had a shot in the opening term to the other end of the ground, which he didn't hit particularly well. We're hoping to fare a little bit better from this. Strikes it pretty well, just missing to the left-hand side. So one behind and one out in the full for him. 1-7. Plays 3-3, so 8 shots to 6. Playing on from the kick in is Willis. Slams it into the middle. Stripped of the football, flashing through there was Kennedy. Umpire's paid a throw. Going to come back to Olinda Ferny Creek, doing so much right around the ground here. Just not yet putting it on the board. Ball to play on now. Set it up to the pocket. Almost holding a mark down there. Off hands and over for a throw in. It looks like there's a free kick in that contest. And it's another one of these shots at goal from that sort of 40-metre range. It's going to be Taylor again. He's already got the one behind from up against the boundary line to the opposite end of the ground in the first term. This is a better look at goal and a better kick. And they close the gap with that. drawing to within 2 points, 2-7-19, 3-3-21. Good game of football. Side looking for the first passage through to the grand final. So back in the middle, 2-point game. Yet to lead the game. So I've got a whistle here from the non-controlling umpire. I think he's telling the runner to get off the ground. I think he is. Looking a little bit confused, the pink down here, but it certainly appeared that that's what that might have been about. Clearing ball goes towards Hurst, who finds a teammate in Black. Black's good kick to a leading target, Black to Black. So that was Chase to Caden. Centering kick drops a little bit short off hands to Molino. Handle it all that cleanly. Ball bobbling around here just outside 50 at the 11-minute mark of the quarter. High ranging kick. Is that going to be a down the ground? The kickers are going to come back. It's going to be a down the ground infringement, and it's going to be Garner. Dumped as he kicked. The launched ball down towards about 20. They can line up here via Joel Garner. Kicked a stack of goals in the first 10 weeks of the season. Missed a bit of football since. Comes in, and they immediately answer, just as they did in the first term. And it's back out to 8, 4-3-27 to 2-7-19. 12 minutes gone. Of course, if you are the lower seed, if you will, coming into this game, as is Olinda, Ferny Creek, on one hand, you'd obviously love to win your way through to the grand final. That's priority number one. Priority number two, I guess if you can't do that, is to ensure that you believe that you could beat them if you played them again. So Olinda, Ferny Creek, if they were to get beaten in this game, would have a tough preliminary final to navigate. But they'd want to feel like they were a chance if they got through and played this team again. Wandin launching forward. Quick snap there by Beckwith. Goes very high in the air. Drifts over the head of that Aaron Mullet contest and out of bounds on the full. Probably halfway through this second quarter. Ball sitting here in the hands of Seymour. Seymour goes down the line on the far side of the ground. It's punched away and over for a throw-in. Half-back flank into Ferny Creek, maintaining possession. Good hard lead. Pushing up at it from Giacotti, who's kicked their goal in the opening term. Centering kick, some risk associated in that, but it gets there. Worked up towards the wing position. Run here from Ferny Creek as they burrow their way through. Is involved. Hand pass, just forcing them to stop and prop, go back. See Hyatt missing the target on the way out with the hand pass, and it goes over. Flashing through. High kick to about 30, climbing high in the middle of the pack. Couldn't quite haul down the mark. And pass was a little untidy. Beckwith clears for Wandin. Free kick for a block there, and it's going to go to Ferny Creek's way, just as Wandin had taken the mark. Trailing by 8 points. Again, too far out to score. They would have dominated inside 50s in the game. Not that that is the measure. Seal from the back punches it down. Hyatt tries to get the hand pass through. Diving in low there was Curry. They'll now straighten up, kick down towards the pocket. It'll bounce out of play and be thrown in. Calls for insufficient intent down there, but I think it was a shot at goal, so be incredibly harsh. Flying snap out of there. That's a beauty. And that's something out of nothing from the man in the ruck. Just wrenching it clear. Launching it towards goal. Doing it all himself. Clearance work and the goal from Josh Wallace. That is a very important goal as we reach 16 and a half minutes in the second term. Back in the middle. Forward, they mark it on the lead. Von Hess. Chips looking for Taylor and finds him. Driven into the ground. Did well, hung on to it. And this for the lead. Kick one from this angle, but probably 10 metres closer 5 or so minutes ago. Getting some reward for control they've had in general play. Kick is out to the left. And 1-2 for Taylor. Margin sits at 1.38, 26 to 4.3, 27. 17 and a half minutes. The ball to be brought back into play. Taken here on the halfback flank. Contest up the ground, unable to haul that in was Johnson. It's worked towards Seal. Seal's hand pass just missing the mark there of Clark. Come back in, puts a bit more pressure on. The Ferny Creek will go towards the top of the square. Great work there from Dester to push back, although the umpire says front on contact stands the call. Clearing ball out. It's going to come back in again. So 5 or 6 minutes of sustained repeat entries. Taylor having an influence. Would have taken half a dozen marks across that half-forward line. Taken 4 inside 50 as well. That kick's okay. Finds Cuthbert. Cuthbert, the left footer. Wheels goes, good kick towards Dester, is on the lead, had a little bit of separation, couldn't take the mark. Charlie Wood at the back. Brings it cleverly around towards Hines. His hand pass was untidy. Likewise, the return from Olinda Ferny Creek down towards attacking 50. It's worked up towards the wing. It stays in play. It's taken here by Rosier, who's had a few touches. Now towards Taylor again, who marks. Upped a little bit of treatment after that one. Gave it off to a runner coming past. It was mown down. Left foot kick from Wandin into the middle. They find Atkins, who sweeps the hand pass towards a runner. That runner is Rosesi, goes down towards Mullet. Traps it eventually. Wheels around onto the left. Flying shot towards goal is another one. And that's his third. Just so lively, so dangerous. And makes them pay once again. That's the difference. The little half chances not being taken at one end, and then Aaron Mullet effectively creates a chance at the other. Right, too many players on the ground that would have done that. 3 goals, 2 he's kicked. 5 goals, 3 for his team. 5-3-33, plays 3-8-26. They take it away out of the middle. Rosier again gets the hand pass to a runner. They'll sweep it on the bounce down towards the half-forward line. Von Hess, can he find a target in there? Doing well was Desta to bring it to ground. Dives in over the top of it. How does the umpire interpret that? Calls for a bounce. Seen any number of decisions potentially paid there. Close to the boundary, floating left foot kick out, lands on the chalk, doesn't go out of play, and now eventually is helped out. So ball thrown back in. And the umpire deeming that there was a prior there and holding the ball. Zessi gets the free kick. Chips it into the middle, finds Wood. Wood gets it off towards Beckwith. Beckwith long towards half forward, coming out. Seymour takes the mark. Works it up towards the far side wing. Good strength there from Taylor. Feeds it back to Greenall. Greenall up inside 50. Interference from the back, according to the umpire. Up towards the half-forward line. They'll flash through there via Fury. Goes up inside 50. That man again. Mullet wheels around. Wobbles it on the bounce towards goal. It tracks back. Did it get there? It did. Became a race. Player versus footy. Mullet even further out than the last one. Didn't hit that at all sweetly off the boot, but got the job done. And they take what is the biggest lead of the so far at 6-3-39 to 3-8-26. So back in the middle. Throw. She'll bring the free kick back into Ferny Creek. So Lucas in the middle of the ground gets it off to some support run coming. Half forward, they've got an option there in space, just punched really there by Homer. And a high contact free kick paid against them. Just been a little bit untidy, opportune moments in the game. And good hit there on Atkins. Frequently puts the body on the line. Worked out towards our broadcast side, Samuel Hodgett. Two Hodgetts have been very busy in the air. This one goes towards Woods. Towards Beckwith. It's knocked away from him. Parrying around. Can they get one before half-time? Toma turns. Ops just gets the kick away. Lands in a dangerous position, but it's all Wandin there. It's intercepted, though, by Tonkin. Snaps it across the face. Getting back there is Mutiers. Driving kick down the line. Good strong mark taken. 25.5 minutes gone in the term. Down towards half forward. Shielding from the sun there is Hurst. Sweeps the ball off to the runner. They'll drive it long towards the pocket. Waiting underneath it and taking the mark again. And lining up for 5 in the first half. Up to 115 on the season in 16 games. And very much proving the difference today. It'll be the final act of the first half, so he aborts the run-up. We'll start again. Strikes it reasonably well, but slams it into the post. So at half-time, a second quarter that netted Wandin 3 goals 2, and Olinda Ferny Creek 2 goals 3. The 9-point quarter-time deficit becomes 14 at the half. 6-4 plays 3-8. Mullet with 4. Atkins and Garner with 1 each. And from Olinda Ferny Creek, Taylor, Giacotti and Wallace, who kicked a beauty, their goal scorers. So it's a 2-and-a-bit goal game at the main break. We're here, of course, for the local footy hub and for Gameface Vision. If you want your match filmed, contact Gameface, be it a milestone, women's games, finals, junior footy, whatever it may be, starting at $300 plus GST. Plenty more to come from Healesville, where a spot in the grand final is on the line, and it's Wandin by 14 points. Numbers in the middle. Brought to ground in the tackle, slipped over, and the umpire's going to say they paid the price. Player fringing there was higher, so the player penalised, goes forward. Mullet spills what he would normally have taken. However, he goes to work anyway. What about that? That is just too good. Very difficult skill in football to be able to kick the ball whilst running flat out. No steadying steps. You're kicking it in a sprint. And that's what Mullet's done for at least 3 of the 5 goals he's now kicked today. He's got 5 goals, 3, so he's outscoring Olinda Ferny Creek on his own. The margin sits at 20, and he's having a day. That's 22 goals in the 3 matchups between these two sides this year. 12-5, and now 5 again, but goals in finals is of enormous value. So the ball in the hands of Olinda Ferny Creek. We've got to get something happening here. Rosier try to launch it from midfield. Darts the kick low towards a leading target. Getting in the front position, there was Recess. It's worked into the middle. Testing period here for Olinda Ferny Creek. Got to stay with them as best they can. Burrowing it around at the ground. Quick snap forward. Taylor caught behind his opponent. Reached an arm in there, which was able to just jag it to ground. But Wandin muscle it up towards the wing position. Rosier doing some good things. Good bullocking. Wins possession on the wing. They play it forward again. Taylor back onto his leading work here inside 50. The kick will fall a bit short of him. Quick snap forward. Important ball to be trapped, and it was done really well by Hodgett. Blazing back into the middle. Wallace thumps it inside 50, finds a target. And they have to kick these. Smith. They've had so many shots from about this spot with limited success so far. Directly in front. Conditions quite still. As we say, it's a beautiful day. So wind not a factor. If you execute it, it should hold the line. It doesn't. Well, it does, but the line was off. 3-9-27 to 7-4-46. 19 points the margin. 12 shots to 11, and they trail. Hawthorn 4 goals to zip against the Giants in that elimination final. Thumping ball up towards wing position, over and out for a throw in. Burrowing around on the far side wing, quickly onto the boot. Down towards half forward, good strength in the marking contest, getting rid of his opponent down there, top of defensive 50. Working it back inside by hands. Trapped on 50 by Seal. Goes forward there via Desta towards the pocket. Got another stoppage here about 20 metres around from that Olinda Ferny Creek goal. Good pressure put on there by Zachary Seal, this time pushing up the ground. But Wandin so far with the answers, thumping it down towards the wing position. Seymour gets the extra number there to make sure that goes out of bounds. 46 plays 27, 19-point game, 5 minutes third term. Second semi-final, winner into the grand final, loser into the preliminary final to play the winner of tomorrow's clash between Warrialic and Monbulk. Monbulk big winners over Healesville last week in the elimination final. Warrialic losing narrowly to this Olinda Ferny Creek team in the qualifying final. Worked forward down towards the scoreboard. Quick snap, mullet. Trap it on the bounce. Quick hands, lightning quick there. And he's going to get a free kick. I think advantage paid. Is it a goal? Well, that's an interesting one because we saw in the second quarter at that end of the ground, advantage was paid and they missed a shot. And they waved it on. And they're asking that question saying, what's the difference? And it is a valid question. The missed shot and they've brought the kick back. That's not what happened in the second term. Ball's in pretty good hands. Lining up for number 6. And perhaps, in the eyes of Olinda Ferny Creek, some degree of poetic justice in that the end result was a behind anyway. 7-5-47 plays 3-9-27. Works short on the kick in, scoreboard side of the ground. Brings it back towards Seymour. Now will they continue to switch or go back out that far side? They go back out the far side. Good vertical leap and mark taken there by Kennedy. Short he goes. It's brought into the middle. Finds the big fella in Wallace. Who's going to be marched down the ground for a protected area infringement. Hits up a target short. The target is Cuthbert. So patient build up, and they've got it up towards the edge of 50. And can they get one more mark in this? Bit of a push in the contest. Play-ons. Quick kick out's a good one towards Atkins. Turns him inside out. Reaches after the football. He's infringed against. Gets the free kick. High ball down the line. Seymour collected over the shoulder against player in Ghana. Wallace. They link up here to Cuthbert. Pulls the left foot kick to good position. Goes through the hands there of Taylor. Spilt one he would normally take. Beckwith floats his hand pass into the middle of the ground. Forward they go towards Hodgett. Sweeps another one. And they go inside 50. Mark taken there on the third bite by Mullet, who's similar angle but slightly further from goal to where he had that last shot. 5 goals, 4 from 9 scoring shots as the Giants get there first. So they're back within 16 points. And across the face and a blemish. 5 goals, 5. Kick in. Finds its way to Tonkin. So they're patiently just sharing it around. 7-6 plays 3-9. Got to kick a couple here. Kennedy runs down the far side wing, takes one bounce. Pretty good looking kick towards Toma. It takes the mark. Just inside the boundary. Centering kick is good. Rosier has it. Where does he go next with this? To the pocket. Climbing from the back there was Smith. Wandin trying to run it out of defence. Low, ugly, floating kick's going to come back in. Jagging it towards a leading target. The packs collide. Advantage paid for a chop of the arms. Wandin race it away. One-on-one's further afield. It gets over the back. It comes a foot race. Garner goes off the ground looking for guess who. If he gets some space, he's in. He gives a hand pass away. Doesn't kick one. Sets up the shot. And the shot bounces across the face and out of bounds. Boundary throw in here at the 11.5-minute mark of the quarter. Guided down, quick kick out. Brilliantly directed. This way, that way. Kennedy, who's at a good quarter, comes out towards Rossier. Taken there by Taylor, draws the player over the top in Curry, feeds the hand pass through well there towards Hyatt. Not a great kick towards Seal, who was carried forward. Advantage is going to be paid. And again, they probably asked the question as to the consistency in that interpretation, but they're going to get a shot at goal anyway. Or at least they should have. They decided to move it on quickly towards the pocket with one additional kick towards Wallace, who was resting down there. And now all's well, it ends well. They're going to get a free kick for sufficient intent by the looks of it. Tough kick from out there. Comes back in. Kennedy had about 6 possessions probably in the early part of this quarter already. Centers it again to Tonkin. Conceding ground. Now it comes across here towards Curry. They go to the next option, the pocket, taken there by Black. Bumping ball forward, Mullet. Got the pace advantage. Can he steady and kick the goal? He steadies, and he kicks the goal. That's 6. 6 goals, 5. Having a picnic in the second semi-final. That's 6-5 from 8-6. He's carving them up at the moment. Not always noted as a small, lively forward, but playing that role with an absolute plume at the moment. It's a double the score situation at 8-6-54 to 3-9-27. Mullet climbing up to 23 goals in the head-to-head between these two sides now. Taken out of the middle here by Ferny Creek. Good pressure. Umpire pays a throw. It's a free kick here to Zachary Seal. Finds an option in the pocket. Hopping it over the top again here is Bria Smith-Rowe. Just not easy shots. Toma it is. 3-9 plays 8-6 at the 15-minute mark of the term. It's not a bad looking kick. And they land one of the harder ones they've had all day. And it keeps them in the contest, albeit just 4-9-33 to 8-6-54, their first goal of the second half. 21 points of the margin right now. 33 plays 54 around the grounds in the AFL. Giants 6-1-37 lead, Hawthorn 6-1-37 lead the Giants 2-2-14. Fed through by hand, cut off. Floating kick forward, mark not taken. Spillage gives him a little bit of an opportunity. It's looped over the top. They'll run into the open goal. Toma will get to it in a minute. Well done by Von Hess to help set that up. A desperate attempt diving across to mark the ball in defence from Wandin, but as soon as it hit the deck, they were going to be in some degree of trouble. And just like that, the half-time margin pretty much restored. It was 14 at the break, 15 now. Daniel Toma with 2 goals in a minute, not quite in the Cam Rayner fashion of last night. Nailed the set shot from up against the boundary, and then the overlap running into the open goal. First multiple goal scorer for Olinda Ferny Creek. They close the gap again. And they win another clearance here. Desta makes it very high. They can't haul in the mark. Wandin tidy it up off half-back. Molino on the bounce out there towards Black. Another one to the Hawks, who lead by 29 points now. 15-point advantage here. 2 goals, 2 to 2 goals, 1 in this third term, which is 18 minutes old. Another bounce. Ball knocked down close to the line. Looks like they've kept it in play for the moment. It comes through again here towards Lucas. High ball. Important one to win there, Taylor. Brought it to ground, and he's going to get a free kick, and they're going to run into an open goal again, and it's Toma again. 3 goals in 3 minutes. Taylor interfered within the marking contest, could only go up with one hand. He had one arm pulled down. Then Toma with the presence of mind, no issues on the advantage there, streaking it in. 3 goals in a row to him and his team. And the 27-point deficit becomes a 9-point deficit. 8-6-54 to 6-9-45. So Daniel Toma. And Desta's having an influence in the ruck with his athleticism. Now they get the breakaway via Lucas. Thumping kick towards goal. Will it go all the way? I think it has. Clean out of the middle. And all of a sudden they can't miss. And Desta, a move of getting him into the ruck. He was creating things forward, but just his vertical leap, as you've seen on those last few centre bounces, and then Lucas just ripping it out of the middle and slamming it through on the run. Eight 6:54 to 7:9:51. 3-point game. Olinda Ferny Creek have not led this match at any stage. Time on in the third quarter. They're within 3 points. Desta mistimed the run that time, but they get the clearance anyway. Kennedy, little 1-2 there with Rosier. Drives them forward. They'll go high in the air, no mark. Front and centre. They shark it and can't keep it in play. Boundary throw in. And pass comes out. They'll hook around on the left towards the square and it bounces out of play. So it's another opportunity to launch inside 50. They hit a target. They do, and they'll shoot for the lead. Smith. Will line them up. He hasn't kicked super well for goal today. One behind and one that failed to score. And that's another miss. They've had 4 shots to hit the front at various stages of the contest. That's another one. 7:10:52 to 8:6:54. 22 minutes third term. 2-point ball game. Quarter time in Sydney. Hawthorn 7:2:44. GWS 3:2:20. 4-goal game there. Hand pass launched over the top. They'll go back inside 50. Thomas pushing down towards the pocket and marks. And he's the man with the hot hand or the hot boot. Can he kick 4 goals in about 7 minutes? Put his team in front. Call him Daniel Jarman or something like that at training. It goes the right way for them. So another shot for the lead. Bearing in mind they have not led at any stage today. Shaping for the banana. And he could do no wrong. 4 goals in the space of 7 minutes to Daniel Toma. 5 goals in a row for his team. And they hit the front. 8:10:58 to 8:6:54. They were 27 points down when Aaron Mullett kicked his 6th. And that was at the 14-minute mark of the quarter. 23.5 minutes into the term, they're in front. 3 goals to halftime, 5 in a blink. Good tackle in the middle. Have a bounce. "24 minutes into the term, so probably only a couple left in the quarter. Good tackle. That's almost holding the ball. Umpire deeming that they didn't take possession cleanly, so therefore there was not, strictly speaking, prior. Quick kick, a little bit ineffective. It's flicked up towards Beckwith. Beckwith drives it long down the line. Good spoil at the back there from Jessup. Will charge forward here via Black. Umpire balls play on as Olinda Ferny Creek go up to the wing position and mark strongly. Back to Curry. Ticking past 25 in the quarter. Bit of a block in that marking contest. Free kick will go the way of Jaworski down there. Taken off hands there by Cuthbert. Handle it cleanly. It's parrying around near the boundary. High contact free kicks. Going to give an opportunity for Wandin to load up inside 50. Atkins from the back. Outpointed in the front position. Good strong mark. Gets back Taylor to offer that support behind the football. Short kick here finds Seal. That's Francis Seal to Tonkin. Short ball to Kennedy, giving them a real lift in this quarter. Probably had close to double-figure disposals in the third. Can't be long left before the bell, he says, as if he knew, but he didn't. 8-6-54 to 8-10-58. 5 goals 2 to 2 goals 2 in that term, but the 5 goals coming in a row. Toma kicking 4 of those 5, so he has 4. Singles to Taylor, Giacotti, Wallace and Lucas for the beauty out of the middle. And for Wandin, 6 to Mullet, Atkins and Garner with singles. Mullet getting both of their goals in that term. So as we turn for home, big thank you to our major sponsors, Architectural Cladding Supplies, Headers Suspension and Brakes, team at Bendigo Bank, Healesville Greyhounds, of course, for their match of the day, and the local footy hub where you can catch match reports, highlights, interviews, and the like, including straight after this contest. The winner goes into the grand final, and at the moment, it's Olinda by 4 points. Three-quarter time, as has been the custom. Olinda Ferny Creek have broken from the huddle a little bit earlier than their direct opponent. So look at the around-the-ground score from the preliminary final in Division 1 being played at Yarra Junction between Warburton and Pakenham. And you can pencil, in fact, you can use pen to put Warburton into the grand final against Seville. Warburton 63 points in front at three-quarter time, 15-9-99. Pakenham would be pretty disappointed in that, 5-6-36, but Warburton really responding to the thumping that they themselves copped last week to Seville in the second semi, and they've earned themselves another crack at them, which they will get next weekend, of course. In the AFL, early in the second quarter, it is Hawthorn by 24 points over the Giants, and here, with a spot in the grand final up for grabs, it's a double chance game, so the loser goes on to the prelim. It's Olinda Ferny Creek, sparked in that quarter by the likes of Desta and Kennedy in the middle, and Toma forward, who kicked 4 goals in 7 minutes to put his team in front for the first time in the game, turning for home. Big 26, 27 minutes or so. Lovely day for football as the sun starts to head towards the twilight stage of the day. In the ruck there, Wallace went a little bit early, landed on his feet, caught the footy. Quick snap out of it is cut off. Good mark taken down there well by Fury, who sends it long towards the wing. Hurst keeps it in play for the moment. Young skipper, and it's knocked over for a throw-in. Knocked to ground. Garner was flashing past. Ball didn't get to him from Caden Black there. They pounce on it. They tie it up. And we'll have another stoppage. Work towards the line, and the umpire says insufficient intent. We've seen probably 4 of those paid today. Driving ball down towards the square. It stays in play for the moment. Can they force it out? They've been given a free kick there for infringing as he was scrambling after the ball. Push in the back. And a chance to restore the lead at the start of the last term. The lead they relinquished for the first time. On the stroke of three-quarter time, they open up the angle and they do just that. First blood in the last term to the league leaders. And they take it 9-6-60 to 8-10-58. Atkins getting the job done. So ball back in the middle. Push there, Olinda Ferny Creek with the chance to launch forward from this. In fact, it's Wandin who launch it up towards about 55, taken off there by Hyatt. Trying to step through, you would suspect that the intensity from Wandin's going to lift in the face of that challenge. Can Olinda Ferny Creek go with them? When they've done that, and they win another free kick for holding the ball. Pressure building here. They lead it by 2. They've got it just outside 50. They'll set it up to a dangerous position. Greenall trying to knock it clear, but the mark is taken on the lead. And a shot at goal coming up here to Garner from about 45 metres out. The sort of range that hasn't been going, or hasn't been finding the mark off the boots of the Olinda Ferny Creek players when they've had their opportunities at either end of the grounds. And this time it does, and that, again, could prove the difference. Their ability to hit those shots. It's why they won on this ground about 5 weeks ago when it was tracking against them for large parts of it, because they took their chances and they were able to nail the clutch goals when it mattered, and they're back out by 8 points. Garner with a second, 10-6. Plays 8-10. Still so much footy to come. Guided to ground. Hand pass out of there from Rosier. Got a touch on it. Quick give underground there from Chase Black. They bounce it towards half forward. It gets through Jessup initially. Got a hand on it. Atkins, flying shot down towards goal. Mullet's there. It goes over the head and a behind. 2 goals, 1. His efforts. It is a 9-point contest. 10-7, 67 to 8-10, 58. Can they find a target here from the kick in? They've exerted a lot of energy to get to this point in the game. Trapped well there by Giacotti. It's worked back by hands. And good pressure here by Wandin, really upping the ante, doing what you would expect. Of a top side. Just outside 50. Rosier tries to go off the ground. Got a little touch on it. It's driven long down towards a dangerous one-on-one. Mullet's there. If it hits the deck, he's a chance. Olinda Ferny Creek controlled that really well on the way out, and they found a target. And it's tied up. And we'll have about took on the tackler, got out, just got a hand pass away. It was a touch fortunate. Now there's a hold of the jumper, so Wandin haven't had the territorial advantage really at any stage of the game. They've certainly been the more efficient, but now they do. Garner, lovely kick to the leading player in Mullets, who can line up for a 7th. Hawthorn by 18 points over the Giants, 8-2-50 to 5-2-32. Aaron Mullet has 6 goals, 5. His team leads by 9 points. Strikes it really well and comes up clutch again. And in the blink of an eye, they lead the game by 15 points. (11-7-73) plays 8-10-58. From being vulnerable at three-quarter time, they back out by 2.5 goals once more, responding as champion sides do. Dress rehearsal for a grand final if they can get through, knowing that we can be struggling in some aspects. Then we can be significantly challenged and we can come up diamonds in that situation. Is there another shot left for Olinda Ferny Creek? Can they ask another question? Wallace. Over the top of the ball, it's locked in. Scrambling at the fall. Wandin trying to will it through. Remembering that last quarter when they met 6 or 7 weeks ago, 5 goals to 1 in the last quarter when the game was on the line at three-quarter time. So far, 3-zip in the last quarter. Interference in the ruck. Advantage paid. Greer-Smith Rowe goes over the top. They'll chip to a dangerous spot at the top of the square. Great mark. Taken under pressure there from Willis. Jaworski marks. Pops it over the top. Finds Fury. Wheels around. Tumbles it up towards half forward, front and centre. The left foot centering kick. Bounces off the legs there of Mullet. A kick coming in there from Alderman. And the umpire says, we'll have a bounce. Ten and a bit minutes of the term gone. And it's been all Wandin. As they throw the gauntlet down to Olinda Ferny Creek once more. So it's going to be another stoppage. Stepping through, umpire deems just got a hand pass on that one. Must have been touch and go. They're under the pump, fed through there by Hurst. Now the flying shot at goal. One-on-one's down there. It just gets away from Mullet and through for a behind. Cody Hurst with the flying shot at goal. $11, 8.74, 8, 10, 58. Healesville Greyhounds match of the day. Lucas trying to work it forward by hand. Umpire's paid a holding free kick, so Olinda Ferny Creek will get some relief through that. Kennedy. Wide with the kick, too wide, had a bit too much on it. Missed the target, bounced away and over for a throw-in. Quick snap forward again by Wandin. Mullet caught behind his opponent this time. Good tackle again. Unlucky not to be rewarded. So another stoppage about halfway through the term. Outside of the boot, goes inside 50, finds the mark on the lead. And it's another opportunity, this time Wood. Only had the 3 goal kickers in the game, have Wandin. Charlie Wood can make it 4. And you would think, I know we saw the turnaround in the third term, but a 22-point lead beyond the halfway point of the last quarter. It would certainly take some beating. It's an ugly looking kick. towards the pocket. They don't concede the behind there via Curry. Kick out, puts them in an awkward position here in a 1-on-2. Hurst looks at the centering kick. Doesn't quite get to its intended target. It comes through here towards Desta. Pulls the kick wide towards the boundary. Nice hand pass through. Pressure good as they try to launch it back inside 50, but nothing doing. Quick kick up in the Taylor direction. The meat and a sandwich there. In fact, it was Seal who gets a hand pass through towards Kennedy's courts. And holding the ball. They force the turnover. They go back inside 50 and they win the free kick themselves, and they've got to take these chances. Wandin's only taste of defeat came in round 12 when Monbulk beat them by 16 points at Wandin. Can the skipper deliver here? 16 points, halfway through the quarter, and it hasn't been his day in front of the sticks. 1 goal, 3. Eight 11:59 plays 11:8:74. Still a 3-kick game. Thumping ball down the middle. Flicked back over the top there by Desta. Didn't have the running support. 16 points a margin in the AFL. Hawthorn 56-40 midway through the second term. Pretty high-scoring game, that. Taylor cleared a path there for Seal. Tried to hand pass it towards Lucas. They forced the turnover again. Good tackle. But the scoreboard reward has to come. Francis Seal has it. Too far out to score. Sets it up. Kennedy's there, caught behind. The wobbling ball falls short. They'll go across goal. Toma, the man of the third term, was in the vicinity, but couldn't close it down quite quickly enough. So Wandin have it. Ski down to the wing position. Front spot, good mark taken in the 1-on-1. Oakley Jessup had a pretty good second half. All Wandin in the air. It gets over the back though. Oh, that's well played by Giacotti, who's then closed down. Probably didn't get rid of it legally. Ball up here. Punched close to the line. Ball stays in. Nice hands in tight there from Bruzesi. Nice work, Paddy. The calls from the boundary line. Outside of the boot. Good kick. Finds the target. That's Hodgett. Gets the ball off to the runner coming past here in Jaworski. Sets it up. A bit of a floating kick towards Atkins. Had to be content to punch that ball away. Trap just inside 50. Bouncing down towards Hurst, the skipper, in the pocket. Still in for the moment, and now there's a high contact free kick at the foot of that pack. So we're at 18 1/4 minutes. Olinda Ferny Creek needs 3 goals. They take the mark on the half-back flank. They need to roll the dice. Taking on the player on the mark and losing the ball, dispossessed. Hand pass over the top. Well done by Molino. They'll now pull it back towards the top of the square. If it gets over the back, they could almost close the book. Ball still alive. Chipping ball, mark taken at half-back. Now, can they get the run they need here? They get a bit of overlap. Jessup and Curry combine. Ball blazing down the line and out of bounds. Clearing kick there from Leach Hines. And another throw in here at the time on period of the term. So probably only 5 or 6 minutes left. 3 goals kicked in the term, all of them to Wandin. Mullet, Atkins and Garner with the goals as they work it forward here, Olinda Ferny Creek. Can they get the chance to finish? Little untidy on the hand pass, and now they're tied up there via Smith. You wonder whether the shot at goal was the best course of action rather than trying to perhaps make absolutely sure of it with some of those hand passes. Taking on the tackler and gone. Umpire said he had it too long there, Willis. And the shot at goal here, perhaps to keep the game alive. And it's Toma who's kicked 4. He's had the radar working. He's been kicking them on the run, set shots, snaps. A check side from the boundary. This probably the easiest of those set shots. And he's got it. 5 second half goals to Daniel Toma. And the game perhaps still alive, 21-45. (11-8-74), 9-11-65, 9 points the margin. They kicked goals in a hurry in the third. 2 away here. Free kick for a hold, Olinda Ferny Creek ball. Kicks forward, mark taken well there by Jaworski, did well. Got back. Kept his eyes on it the whole way, hung on to a good grab. Short kick, some risk involved in that. Black takes the mark. I'll feed it back towards Willis. Willis, long kick across goal. Finds Hodgett. Hodgett down the line. Pride clear there by Seal. Over for a throw-in. Good spin out of there initially from Olinda Ferny Creek. Hand pass shuffled over the top from Hyatt. Centre half forward, big ball to be won. Wandin kick partially smothered, bounces into the middle of the ground. Clever little knock-on was important there from Mitchell. And now it's a Wandin free kick for a hold on the jumper on Alderman. And a 25-metre penalty. Plays on from that, launches it forward into the open goal. Hurst, advantage paid, and there it is. And that should do at the 24-minute mark, 12:880 to 9:11.65. Hurst becomes their fourth goal scorer and the skipper with what might be the final act of the game in a scoring sense. 12 goals 8 to 9 goals 11. Been a very entertaining contest. First versus third, and potentially a precursor to the grand final. It looks like Wandin will be there. Quick snap from Alderman, who had a hand in that last one. Down towards Hodgett. Just buffered it out of the way. Left foot kick down towards the pocket, and the mark is taken. And Hurst will have another crack at it. Has kicked the one already. 25-15. And there it is. 2 goals in a row to Cody Hurst. And a 21-point game. 13-8-86 plays 9-11-65. 21 points the margin. Nearly 27 minutes gone in the term. All that long to go. Olinda Ferny Creek. Boot. Done his bit today, just hasn't quite. One back by Wandin. Good work by Seymour on the. Feed it off. Deal, and the siren sounds. Into the decide. Opponents, Monbol, or teams 2 and 3. Ferny Creek, who've given them a to 9-11-65. And for Olinda, Ferny Creek, Giacotti, Wallace. 9-11-65. Olinda Ferny Creek go on to the winner of tomorrow's clash between and Wandin, sitting in the grand final. 118 goals on the. Of course, a 90-goal player in the world. Tomorrow, go that, which would be a season. But we'll sign off from Healesville, and who have been on top of the table all season, get the chance to win the premiership in 2.